joining us on the show this afternoon on the Upside. I'm going to start with you, Thandeka. Let's talk about this collaboration. It's an interesting one. Hong Kong, South Africa coming together. How did it come about?
So it was a call. I mean, as a musician or an artist, it was a call from the National Arts Council, where South African musicians would apply to get into this journey of discovery or this collaboration. And I was lucky enough to have been chosen as 5 of the musicians from South Africa to represent South Africa in Hong Kong in this collaboration. So that's my start. I don't want to say that's how it started, the whole project.
It sounds absolutely amazing. Wong, please join this conversation, and let's talk about the project, okay? Because it brings together artists from South Africa and Hong Kong, as we acknowledge it. But what has been the most powerful or surprising discovery in terms of this cross-cultural collaboration?
Well, actually, the whole journey, it was a journey because it started last year in Hong Kong. The first stage of this project was African musicians coming over to Hong Kong, and we each have to prepare certain materials written by a composer called Mmatsheko, a Hong Kong composer. He tried to gather different musical influences into the songs, and then we learn the songs and try to add our own perspective into it with our own instruments and our own maybe rhythms and perspective, and then we also each perform our own original materials, because the artistic units that has been in the project, was chosen for the project, are all creative individual artists, and we all have our own songs and original materials. So last year for me, it was eye-opening because I have never played music with African musicians, and the passion and the energy is overwhelming. I was so impressed, and I think I learned a lot about how to project stage presence. To me, that was a big finding and discovery. And then this time coming over to South Africa, to Joburg, well, first of all, I'm so glad because I actually have African friends, Thandeka, and Buzani and Ayanda and Sky and Natalie. It's amazing to be able to be in a completely alien place, but suddenly you feel like, oh, it's almost like home, because the people are super friendly here, and musically we connect a lot better than even last year, because this time we know a bit more about their music, and I even learned a West African instrument, the asolato, so that I can jam while singing with the whole team.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm saying too much.
No, that's amazing, and I want to hear all about it. We're currently in conversation with 2 artists who are representing, one from South Africa, the other from Hong Kong, on what they call the Journey of Discovery. That's a concert that's taking place at the Market Theatre tonight and tomorrow evening. It's the second chapter of the Journey of Discovery. Continue our conversations with both artists, Jong Wong and Thandeka Mfinyongo. Right after this, it's 21 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time.
Annika Longi sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les militants et sympathisants du parti Les Transformateurs ont-ils réagi face à la condamnation de Succès Masra?
La condamnation de Succès Masra ne nous a pas surpris, et les militants transformateurs ont été bouleversés et indignés, étant donné que le verdict est un verdict lourd, illégal, injuste, et donc face à la répression dans laquelle le peuple tchadien est confronté, les militants transformateurs se sont résignés de ne pouvoir pas sortir manifester. Et donc c'est une situation totalement absurde pour un pays. Et aujourd'hui nous célébrons le 11 août, fête de l'indépendance. On pensait que le verdict allait être plus ou moins clément, mais le verdict est sévère.
Annika Longi, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
The Upside, 1 to 4 p.m. Central African Time. With Tebogo Lekhuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito. Only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
22 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African Time. We're currently in conversation with two artists who are performing at this year's Journey of Discovery at the Market Theatre. It's the second chapter of this movement, bringing together Hong Kong and South Africa. We are joined on the line by Wong and Thandeka Mfinyongo to tell us a bit more about what we can expect tonight and tomorrow evening. Thandeka, let's talk about your experiences of Hong Kong music in terms of your exposure to it and what you have learned perhaps from Wong coming all the way from Hong Kong.
First of all, I play a traditional instrument called ohadi, which is it's a string instrument. It has two notes, and I'm always curious about how far our traditional instruments can go in terms of their music and how far we can stretch them. So this has been one of those moments where playing with, because it's more like a rock band that we play with, to play in that kind of setup, right? To hear what the music would sound like, from coming from a Xhosa background, singing in isiXhosa and playing, traditional instrument. So having to experience, especially Jin's music, because he also, I don't know how I can call your type of music, because there's also it's a mixture of also traditional. You can hear traditional elements like Chinese elements even in his lyrical content. Some of the songs are sung in Cantonese or Chinese.
That one is Mandarin.
Yeah. So just having artists who are also experimenting with their sounds and the music. So it's this collaboration has been really powerful in that way, because you have people who are saying, look, this is my sound, but I would love to see how far it can go or what it can sound like in this context. So it's been really an amazing and eye-opening journey, if you may, having musicians that are like that, and also to have people who are open-minded. I don't want to talk much about how it's difficult for traditional music to be kind of received, even getting airplays and all of those things, but to have artists that are open to hearing how each other's music is, and to collaborate, to come into, collaborate and seeing how what can come out of that sound if we put it together. So it's been a really beautiful journey, very difficult, I must say, but it's been a great journey. Musically and also artistically and also personally, because we have friends now in Hong Kong, and we have friends in South Africa. So it's been great.
I would like to elaborate on the artistic collision of the different musical styles, cultural differences, because the band Aiman from Hong Kong is it's something like a post-rock with vocals. So it sounds a bit Western, at least structure-wise, and the music instruments are quite Western. However, the scale they use is very Oriental and Chinesey. So there's already, like, the band itself is a mixture, because Hong Kong, we used to be the colony of the United Kingdom. So we were also culturally influenced by that, and we listened to a lot of foreign, like Western music, but then obviously we have our own roots, so and our language. So how do we fit in our own language and our own culture with Western music, and then colliding with African music, which is very improvised and like repetitive, but also somehow, I don't know, it's the magic of African music that we discovered is it seems to be repeating itself, but then it never gets boring, and somehow it just builds up to a climax, and then it just ends beautifully. And I guess we have to also learn how to accommodate this kind of like space and freedom within like some kind of structure.
Indeed.
This is so exciting. Thandeka, you obviously are doing such important work in terms of not only sharing indigenous instrumentation, but the preservation work that you have borrowed from artists like Matosini, who played similar instrumentation to you, Uhati and Itolofia and all the other traditional instruments. and Mamantombi Matokiana, and you are doing the work as well. And you mentioned just the challenges around that. Let's talk about, I mean, if I'm listening to the both of you, and I'm thinking, I'm so intrigued, I want to come and see this, you know. Let's talk about art as a bridge builder, because we're living in a world that's just, it's very confusing right now. There's so many divisions. You know, how do you see music, especially at the level at which this particular exchange is doing it? How do you see it as a contribution to healing nations and bringing us together?
Yeah, I mean, it has always been, you know, the drive, right? I mean, thinking about historically where we come from as a nation, right? Music has always been the drive, or the thing that kept us together, a thing that enabled us to speak our minds, right? So I feel like this kind of, I mean, we've been having a lot of conversations, because both of us, he's doing his PhD and I'm doing my PhD, so all our conversations always just somehow, you know, we talk about these things. I had a thought just now and then it just left. Speaking about PhD, I think I'm scared because I'm about to submit.
I love it for you.
But we always talk about how I mean, we
talked about how, like, African music is hard to transcribe.
Right.
But then, because from my background, what I'm doing in my PhD is game related. Actually, it's not music related. It's but it's performance and interactive. And how do you control an interactive, like kind of a free play like that is very improvised.
Yes.
So what you need is a rule set.
Yes.
So when she mentioned that kind of how African music is hard to transcribe, it's actually you can transcribe the game rules. It's basically like coming up with like a system of rules that can notate the improvisation.
Yeah. So going back to the bridge, I mean, not being able to understand each other's languages, but when he sings, for example, in in Mandarin, I don't have to understand what he's saying, but I can feel what he's talking about, be it the body language, be it the scale of the music. But there's something that I don't want to say music is a universal language anymore, because again, you know, these thoughts around these things, but there's something that connects people when we talk about music. I sing in isiXhosa, but there's a feeling that happens, right, when I play, whether he understands what I'm talking about, but there's something that he gains. So music does play a crucial role when it comes to connecting people, when it comes to communicating even things that are difficult still to talk about. So I don't think it will ever end, you know, music being this important aspect of life. For example, I mean, I'm old, but I'm a young person who really got interested in the indigenous instruments, which not so many people were or are interested in, because there's a lot of music going on, right? But for me to be able to connect, my grandmother, for example, I never met her from my maternal side. And when I started playing the instruments, my mom started talking about her and how she used to play these instruments. Wow. And you know, it's important with us, you know, because this thing is like, you just come out of nowhere, you're playing these indigenous instruments, but to have that thing, even though I never met her. So I think that became very important for me, and that's why I want to connect her with Mama Dosini, Mama Matotiana, just to learn from, just to learn from them and to get the knowledge. And I'm really grateful that I did, because I mean, before Mama Dosini passed away, I was able to share a stage with her and many more memories that I made now. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity that these instruments have granted me, and I continue to, you know, work hard to make sure that they are visible in all different spaces. So
Well, all the best to the both of you. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon, and all the best for tonight's performance, tomorrow night's performance. If you'd like more information and to buy the tickets, go to markettheatre.co.za. The voices of Jing, Wong and Thandeka Mfinyongo, bringing Chinese and South Africa together, and I think it's going to be beautiful. The concert is called Journey of Discovery. Check them out on markettheatre.co.za. It's 32 minutes after 1 p.m. Central African time. Let's get the latest in sports with Figile Lingwati.
Sports.